Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 29th, I think. It'll be in the title. We're just going to jump right in here. You have this card that says next year. It says step by step you'll get there. There's no shortcut to this journey. And then you have this card that says in a few months, and it says a mystery will be revealed. Get more information. I really feel that your life is going to be completely different next year. And I'm not trying to be clickbaity here, but just based off your astrology, again, it is going to require work. And you're also going to have to do things like, face the fear of exposure. We literally see it right here. I was literally about to say facing the fear of exposure. The Hermit represents exposure. He normally has that star in his lantern, and I always say he needs to shine that star all over the place. Again, based off your astrology, Jupiter in your third, Jupiter's now in Taurus. It's going to retrograde back into Aries. Doesn't matter. Next year, it'll be in a year. It'll be in your third house, and it is right now. So, the reason this represents exposure is because, third house has to do with like communication and like the things that you share with the world and things like that. So I definitely feel that for a lot of you, it's time for you to kind of like get your good word out into the world. So it's not going to just magically happen. As I always say, you're going to have to put in the work. I think that, if you're one of those people that's saying, you always say this happens, you shouldn't be watching tarot in the first place because, again, tarot can't make anything happen for you. But, what I would say here is it's going to require work and probably taking, again, the risk of being wrong, the risk of saying something and people criticizing you, the risk of, all those things. So, I kind of feel like it's time for you to put your words into the world. This literally could be through something like writing, but it could also be through something like teaching as well. You have the Hierophant here. You could literally be becoming a teacher. For some of you, it's popping into my head. For others, you could just be leading by example, which I'm a big fan of because of Pluto and Aquarius. I always say, like, the best thing you can do is be an example. You have this Eight of Cups here. Eight of Cups is walking away from things that no longer serve you. I do feel like some of you walked away from something here, Pisces, something that was too slow. We go to that Knight of Pentacles, so, this could be something that's never gotten off the ground. For others, I am getting a weird message that you need to get something off the ground, and, this is like an idea or a business. I feel like if you keep, it's like I do get that overthinking energy, Pisces, where it's like you have a good idea, but I think you are overthinking it to death. You're just like, thinking, it's like maybe instead of getting started, you go watch a movie, or something like that. I feel you would feel a billion times better, literally a billion times better if you just got started, especially if you have some sort of idea, something that you're fearing exposure of because of the Hermit, which represents Virgo. But I really get this energy of like needing to share something. And, it's going to, for some of you, literally could make you famous. I'm not even trying to gas you up here in this reading. But, again, I feel the fear of like being wrong or the fear of thinking that people are better than you or whatever. I think I said this to you in your last reading as well. I think that some of you are having a lot of those moments where it's like maybe you look at competition or maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, right? And maybe you watch a dummy like me and you're like, if he can do it, I can do it. And, also you could be saying to yourself, I'm better than him. And yes, get started if you feel that way, because chances are you are better is what I would say here. Because, I think Pisces could be having a lot of those moments where you see people doing something that you want to do and you're like, wait, I know a lot more than that person, or I know, I can do better than that person. And you can, but you actually can't if you don't get started. So, I kind of feel this is saying like, don't be not a backstreet seat driver, but don't be a, sidelines quarterback, right? I feel like it's saying, yeah, you probably are better, but actually you're not if you don't get started. So, something needs to be exposed here, put into the world. And again, I think the thing that will surprise you is how quickly you will do better, how quickly you will grow. You have the King of Cups. I really feel this is just you. I feel like the King of Cups is just how you're showing up in the reading. I feel like you're kind of like in a good place this week and feeling good. Again, it makes sense to me. I think you're going to be feeling pretty good this summer. And, especially as we get into, the whole entire summer really, but, definitely like August, September, we start getting into those months, things are going to feel a lot even better than the summer. But again, it's like, I see these improvements, going on here. And, I do feel there's like a lot of improvements. I feel like you've been in this period of observation. Like maybe you feel like you've been on the sidelines, right? And you've been in this period of observation for a long time, but now it's like you've observed enough. I feel it's time to get moving. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Two of Cups here. Some of you could have walked away from love. I do feel like there's new love coming in for you, though, here, Pisces, going this way. It could be someone who's a little bit slow. Or, I don't know, maybe you're being slow. Could be an earth sign for sure. You have Virgo, Taurus, Earth right here. So, take it how it resonates. It could be any sign that's coming in for you, but I would like get moving. Don't be too slow is what I feel like saying with this person. You end with this groom card, which says husband and marriage, and so either you could be the husband or they could be the husband. Take how it resonates, but I feel like there needs to be movement. With the Hermit, you have the World. I was getting something about travel. I wish I said it because I was getting something here about travel, but you have no travel cards until you get this card here. So I feel like there could be. Oh, you have the Chariot and you have the Fool. I guess those could both be travel, but if you're thinking about traveling, good idea. I feel that for a lot of you that you need to get out of your head. Like there's something about balance here in this reading, like needing to create more balance or, needing to make sure that you're not just working, needing to make sure that you're playing. For a lot of you, maybe you're playing too much and you need to work. So, take how it resonates. With the Sea, someone has their eye on you as well. With the King of Cups, you have the Page of Swords. I do feel like someone has their eye on you. I don't think they were like spying. I think it's more just that a person could be intrigued, they could be interested in you in some way. So, take it how it resonates. Could be an Aries. I keep getting Aries for you lately. And, it wouldn't really surprise me. It could be any sign, general reading. But, you show up in everybody's, I'm not calling you out here, Pisces. Like, I'm a Pisces. I get it, right? But it's like, you show up in everybody's reading. So, could literally be any sign. Going this way, you have this Three of Swords. And you also have this Despair card as well. So, there could be a person from the past who's in despair, who's watching you. Normally I don't mention these things because who cares? And it's like this person didn't, you have the Six of Cups to the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you see this person as someone who kept you stuck with that Knight of Pentacles anyway. So, I feel like you're focusing on yourself. So why is it important? I don't know. Maybe you need to block this person or something, Pisces, but there you go. Next, we are going to look at what you need to know right now. You have this Toxic Triggers card. It says, find the strength to remove yourself from toxic influences in your life. I am almost positive that your last reading, maybe not the last one, but the last weekly reading, you had the Devil, and I was saying something about really needing to remove toxic influences. I'm telling you right now, we just had that new moon in Taurus, and moons in Taurus, really good time to remove anything toxic. It could be a habit, it could be a person, it could be a situation, whatever it is. You have this Bear Tree card that says, don't waste your energy or efforts on something that is clearly not bearing fruit. Yeah, I feel like this is a big lesson you've learned. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Like, Seven of Pentacles, he's literally looking at the fruit that he has grown on a traditional Seven of Pentacles. He's looking at, what he has gotten from his situation, and he's chosen to move forward. I feel like for some of you, you could be even, again, is this like totally a love reading? I would say no, but, I feel like some of you kind of like pulled your energy back here with the Seven of Pentacles. Someone could be heartbroken, but I feel like you're charging towards a victory with the Chariot. Could be a Cancer as well coming in for you. But it's like, I feel like you're moving towards something that's like much more fulfilling because you decided not to accept less, Seven of Pentacles, he's normally looking at those pentacles and he's saying, I deserve more. He's got that one pentacle under his arm and he's, choosing to walk in a new direction. He's walking towards the Eight of Pentacles, which is amazing. If this is love, walking towards the Eight of Pentacles would be equal give and take, or at least someone who actually wants to put in the work. I also feel this for you in business. For some of you, I feel like you're doing something harder, not smarter. And I also feel like you're doing something, it's like you have an idea, especially for those of you in work or business. It's like I feel like a lot of you have ideas, new ideas for amazing new directions that could be much more fruitful. And, I feel like you won't even recognize yourself this time next year. You have that next year card, literally. And so I feel like by the time, things don't happen overnight, but this is going to happen quickly. A year is no time. Think about how quickly, I can't even think, like, it blows my mind how quickly we got through COVID, right? 3 years, basically, or whatever it was. It's like crazy. So, time goes by very quickly. So don't think, and also on top of that, it's not like you're just gonna, I think sometimes people get upset when I say like a year. They're like, I don't want to wait a year. I'm like, okay, but it's not like you're gonna not experience any improvements over that year. You're gonna things go up over time. So, I would get to working on whatever you're working on here. Cause again, you won't even recognize yourself. And again, that's not like clickbait, you have this Hierophant card here. You've learned a lot. I really feel the Hierophant is just handing down life lessons to you, Pisces. So I feel like you've learned a lot of lessons. I feel like you've learned a lot about yourself, and it's like now you're seeing that these things are actually blessings. And so there are like blessings coming in because of these lessons. I do also feel for some of you there could be a Taurus here. I wouldn't I do get a little bit of overcorrection here for some reason. It's not even showing up in the cards. It's more intuitive. So if someone hurt you in the past or whatever, it's like, make sure what's popping into my head is make sure you're not taking things that aren't warning signs as warning signs. Again, I would pay very close attention to the evidence. They might say something, it's almost like you might be being a little bit too critical. I'm not calling you out here or anything, Pisces, but like, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, for the most part, does this person, are they on the good side, right? That's what I would be looking at. You have the Six of Cups here. There's some sort of turnaround coming into your life, I feel, with that Six of Cups. It's like an improvement in your finances. I feel like even if finances are good, I feel like, which maybe for some of you they haven't been good, but I'm just saying even if they are, it's like I feel it's still been like a little bit rocky, a little bit like I feel like you want things to be more predictable. I feel like you want to know that you're going to be making a certain amount of money every single month, or, whatever the case may be, right? Let's see. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles. Teamwork makes a dream work. Again, I feel like if you're moving on from a love situation, or if you're moving towards a teamwork situation. I feel like, typical Pisces, right? I feel like you're used to carrying all the burdens in the relationship, or maybe you have experienced too many burdens with the Ten of Wands there. Sorry, I have the hiccups now. I drank too much coffee too quick. But what I would say here is it's like maybe you experienced too many burdens and you carried too much weight, or maybe you carried, all the problems of the relationship or whatever. And I feel like you're moving on to something that's more balanced. Same thing with work. I feel like you're moving on to something that's much more balanced. With the Hierophant, you have the King of Wands. It really wouldn't surprise me. Again, I can't get away from this. Aries. It really wouldn't surprise me if it was like an Aries that had a bunch of Taurus in their chart, or you could meet this person during Jupiter in Taurus, and which is right now, and it's going to retrograde back into Aries closer to the end of the year, but then next year it'll be in Taurus. That's just like the vibe I get here. I also would encourage you, as always, to be bold and assertive. Nothing is just going to happen, so we have to be bold. We have to be assertive. With the Six of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I would be careful repeating a cycle with a person for sure. Six of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and then you have the Ten of Wands. Like, this person just wants to bring you their problems. So, I would be very careful of that. I do also feel that your fortunes are changing here, Pisces. Like, the energy exists, but I feel like you have to kind of like take advantage of it. Next, you have this Despair card and this Community card. I do feel like someone is sad or in despair. You have that Three of Swords. Could be a past person, for sure. And again, I would be careful of that. Especially if when you were with this person they brought you down, or if you felt down, or if they affected your energy in any way. I would be very careful of that. For others, if you are stuck, I feel like you need to get the help of your community. I feel like there are a lot of people who are in your community who can help you, who can guide you, who can help you create whatever you're trying to create or whatever. So it's like there is help if you look for it or if you ask for it, and that's exactly what I would do here. You have the Three of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I just get the feeling of something not getting off the ground here. I said this at the beginning of the reading. And, I really feel that something just never, kind of got going. Something was frozen in time. So, I would be careful if this is a person. I also get like you have a history of this, though, Pisces. Like, maybe you've had a bunch of business ideas that just never get off the ground, right? And I do feel this reading is saying like, okay, it's like you have the resources now. Next card is the Page of Pentacles, and which is like a fresh start. And I feel like some of you, and also the knowledge, you have the Hierophant, the Page of Pentacles, and it's like now it's a time to get past that point where you just never make any moves. Again, you're never going to know your full potential unless you take action. And again, I feel like your full potential really has the potential to knock your socks off. But again, you're not going to ever experience how good that feels unless you, get moving towards whatever your dream is, writing that book, starting that business, getting into a relationship, whatever, it's different for all of us. You have the Ten of Wands like burdens. Again, I feel like you're trying to heal from this. Again, someone could have brought too many burdens to your relationship or to your life in general. And I feel like you're just focusing on kind of like the newness. I don't even feel bad about this. I mean, you're going this way to the Page of Pentacles, which is something new. And you have the Three of Swords. Again, I'm wondering if you're feeling a person at this time. Again, you're very intuitive, Pisces, so you could be feeling, maybe a past person is getting their karma, or maybe you're just feeling it. And, I would do whatever you can to kind of like protect yourself with that energy. Although you have the Chariot next. So again, I feel like you're kind of like moving on towards a victory. With the Three of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. Someone stabbed you in the back. This came up in, this has come up for you for a couple times. I think someone really stabbed you in the back, Pisces. And it's like, now they feel bad, but like they weren't thinking about that when they were sticking those swords into your back here. I feel like you know the truth about this situation as well. I've said this to you for like the past 3 readings, or at least. So again, I don't know if this happened recently or whatever, but it's like someone really stabbed you in the back. And, I feel like you're just moving on. With the Ten of Wands, yes, you have the Fool. Like, literally, your solution is to take a leap of faith in this whole entire reading. If you're burdened by love, I feel like you need to take a leap of faith towards something better. If you're burdened by work, same thing. For most of you, I feel it's almost like you're creating a bigger burden thinking about something than what it would actually be if you were just to get started. It's like, there's a kid, Dan Coe, his videos have been popping up all over YouTube now, and he said something very interesting. I watched one of his videos the other day, and I can't remember, I'm not going to remember what it was. He's like, we worry about, don't quote me on this, but it was basically like, we worry about things for 10 years that only take like 10 minutes to complete, or something like that. And I get that feeling for you here, Pisces, where it's like, you're worrying about something that would literally, you could complete so quickly. Maybe not 10 minutes, maybe it's going to take you a year, but at the same time, it's like, that's better than thinking about something and thinking for 10 years. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Star. Could be an Aquarius coming in for some of you as well. I'm not really surprised to see the Star because we were talking about this with the Hermit. The Hermit has the Star in his lantern. We were talking about how you need to inspire other people. You've been preparing for this for years. So it's like time to get moving, right? Next, you have this Teeth card. It says control and change. You also have this Groom. It says husband, marriage. Some of you could be meeting a person that you will marry. It doesn't have to be a husband. Take it how it resonates. But I'm wondering if you were controlled in past situations, or you're seeing how you were controlled. I really feel if you're looking for love, there's something much more worth it coming in for you. Something much more, abundant, a lot more happiness I see here and celebrations. But here's the thing is, this area of the reading is going to represent the good stuff, but what I will say is that you have the Chariot. The Chariot is about setting yourself apart, and you have the Seven of Pentacles in this top row. So I really feel you have to stop, going for a certain type of person. Maybe you go for a person who's wounded or, whatever. And I feel like this is saying there's someone who has none of the issues that's available to you. But again, if you are only attracted to people with issues, then you're going to have a problem. So I feel like you have to set yourself apart. I do see some major victories coming in for you, probably over the next year, if you take this leap of faith. It's almost like you're being too cautious as well. There's a way to read the Fool where normally there's a cliff here. And, one way to read it is that he's about to take a leap of faith off that cliff, and he's just trusting that the next step will appear in front of him because he's taking the risk. But there's another way to read it where he could be trying to go this way, around the cliff. That cliff actually goes down, and it's saying be careful at the edge of the cliff, right? Don't fall off a cliff. But I almost feel like you're playing it too safe. I also feel like you could be doing things the long way. And maybe it's because you don't, I get this feeling that you don't realize, what with that Owl card that says in a few months. It's almost like I feel like you discount your information is what I'm getting here, Pisces. If you're thinking about starting a business or whatever, it's I feel like you aren't trusting enough in your knowledge. The only way to get over that is to gain wisdom. How do we gain wisdom? We take our knowledge, we put it into action. That is wisdom. It's I always tell people, if you don't understand the difference between knowledge and wisdom, it's kind of like when you're learning a language. You can learn a language all day long, but there are certain things that you can't learn without experience, like the slang words of a language. It's better to go immerse yourself in the culture of the language you want to learn, because then you learn all the little sayings, nuances, and things like that. And so, I feel like for a lot of you, this is saying you're not going to learn that unless you actually go put it into action. You have the Page of Pentacles, definitely a new person coming in for you. So I feel like there could be new love. Definitely could be earth or fire, but let's see. Or a Cancer. With the Chariot, you have the Two of Swords. Again, this is going to be the good stuff. Two of Swords, literally the same as the Chariot. It's about doing things differently. She normally has a new island behind her, and it represents the fact that she needs to get to that new island. With the Fool, you have the Page of Pentacles. Yes, I would take a risk on this person. This is a new person. I do feel like they're different. I just feel like some of you could be being a little bit too critical. I'm not calling you out. I'm not telling you what to do or anything like that. I don't think tarot should tell you what to do. But again, if you want love, I'm just saying that this person, it's there might be some of those moments where you're where you just get, it's almost like you're overcorrecting due to a past connection. And I feel like this is almost saying give this person a chance, especially if you want love. If you don't, then obviously this isn't for you. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Judgment card. You could be waking up to like a connection as well. For some of you, sometimes it's like maybe a person's like obviously interested in you, but maybe you can't see it for whatever reason. And it's like all of a sudden you realize that. So there you go. I also feel this is talking about like a new purpose for you. I feel like a lot of you could be kind of like almost like stepping into a new purpose. So, that's what I'll say there. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have the Scales card. It literally says, keep your life in balance. I literally said at the beginning of the reading, there was something about balance here, Pisces, like needing to make sure that you balance the two things out. A lot of people have been getting this, I will say. Not this card, but like the need to like work hard, play hard, and all that other stuff. So I would like balance out your energies just in general. You have this Box card. It says, you will receive a gift. Yes, I feel like the universe wants to give you gifts, but again, these gifts exist on Two of Swords, the other island, like needing to move towards some new obstacles. It's almost like I'm not saying you're projecting, I don't think that's the right word either, Pisces, but it's almost like you're thinking that something is going to be too hard, or maybe there are too many steps, or it's like maybe some of you are even overwhelmed by the steps you have to take to get something started, like a new business, new relationship, or to like go get a new job. But I feel like if you get started, it's like going to happen in a few months. It's going to happen like so quickly, right? Next, you have this Broom card. It says new home, new attitude. So, some of you could be moving. Didn't I say something about travel at the beginning? Some of you could be traveling or moving, and I feel it could be good for you. You have this Harp card. It says great happiness. Yeah, a lot of happiness just in general. I feel like you're happy because it's almost like I'm not saying things are perfect, but I think you're making things a lot more even. You have this Gavel card. It says involvement with the law. What's going on here? Let's see. You have this Ink Pot. It says problem to be resolved. Some of you could be involved with the law. I would say you already know about this, and you could be kind of like needing to clean up some sort of issue. Kind of maybe like one of those like retrograde mistakes as well. Might not even be involvement with the law. You just might be a retrograde mistake where you have to like re-sign something or something like that. But all in all, this is a really good reading. I love where this is going. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.